Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cop Fusion. We are back. Yes, we are back after a really long time, and trust me, we'll try our best to keep it as quickly as possible. Done from the next one as well. We are joined by Ishan today. Ishan, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, I just have to promise my viewers that we'll just keep it very quick because we have a tendency to go for 1 hour or 2 hour discussions. So yeah, so we'll definitely try and have more discussions on in this topic. Ishan, so we went up against Madrid. I'm just coming straight to the point now. We went up against Madrid, a weaker Madrid side with no Sergio Ramos, with no Varane, with no Ronaldo as well, you can say, and there was no Eden Hazard as well, who has a formidable record against us. But still, we ended up being the second best team. We're not even the second best team, to be honest, because we did not play that well to make any sort of impact apart from that one goal, which was through Jota's short deflection. Then Salah just got lucky. Fortunately, it was onside, and we just managed to have an away goal. But throughout the game, especially the first half, if we talk about, where did we go wrong? Where was the approach? Was it the tactical mistakes? What is the starting lineup? Was it the attitude? I mean, where did we go wrong?
Everywhere, everywhere. I think you're playing Real Madrid, which are the biggest team on the European platform, and you just can't give them so much respect. I mean, uh, with respect, I mean you can't just give them, tell them to dictate the game right from the start, and I have no idea what our game plan was with respect to our midfield, because our midfield was invisible like almost for like good two-thirds of the game. I think there was no planning, there was no cohesion, and I just like it was looking like, it was like a just some random 11 players have gotten together, and they're trying to play together for the first time as if it's a Sunday league match. I mean, I'm trying to be really, really, good to them by even saying this, to be really honest.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, okay, let's start from the very beginning. A lot of fans talked about revenge. It's a revenge game, and we need to get a payback for what happened in Kiev. Um, However, obviously, you didn't have Ronaldo, you didn't have Ramos in that game, but we did have, apart from Van Dijk, I think it was a pretty good starting lineup that we were blessed with for this game. And do you think that it was the starting lineup that Klopp got wrong, or was it the approach? Because when we started the game, we were pretty much trying to, maybe not pressurize them. We were not pressing that hard. We were maybe trying to just understand their game, how they are going to play against us. So I just couldn't make out what we were exactly doing. We were trying to read them off, or were we just trying to, maybe get a draw out of this game from the very beginning?
I don't think like the personnel was wrong, to be really honest. I think the approach was wrong. The only personnel I would say, from my perspective, which Klopp got wrong was starting Keita, because he had no momentum, he had no rhythm to the game, and starting him off against such an important team and in such an important match, and that too when he's up against probably one of the three best central midfielders, together, who have played together as a unit that there is in Europe in the past 5 6 years. And it was kind of like, Klopp hoping that he kind of comes out of age and delivers a good performance. But I think it was just like way too soon for Keita to be rushed in right now, because he had absolutely no uh, match rhythm. And I mean, answering your other question about what our plan was, definitely we did not press really actively like we usually do. But again, like, our plan was to, let them get the ball a bit forward and then press them. But our pressing angles were really bad. like it was, again, as I said, it was like a Sunday league match happening with, like, the basics going wrong.
Mm.
So I think, like, when that happens and you're trying to, you know press a bit higher up, you can't really have your defensive line also that behind, because then it just means that, you're giving a lot more spaces for the opposition to exploit, and which was happening especially with Asensio, utilizing that space in front of Robertson and Kabak. And yeah, I mean, it was just a total debacle. And I think a lot of people on Twitter were saying this, that Henderson was missed in this game, and yes, he was badly missed, because I mean, just by organizing this unorganized team on the pitch, it would have definitely helped us a lot.
Okay. See, I get the point. Why would we be missing Henderson? But don't we have? I mean, haven't we already lost a lot of games with Henderson on the pitch as well,
Yeah,
including the Atletico game last
yeah,
season? So,
yeah,
getting Henderson on the pitch is one thing, but our midfield has been missing for a lot of games recently, especially in the last 1.5 years. They have been absolutely missing because we have been, tending to play the ball up top, straight from the back to the front without the midfield. I think the only midfield job that they have been doing is either closing down or winning, trying and winning the ball. Um, so, do you think the midfield combination basically went wrong? Apart from Keita,
uh,
Klopp also started Gini Wijnaldum in a game which required a lot of pace. It did not require stability because Real Madrid will not gonna play a tiki taka game. They are not going to
mhm,
they're Spanish side. They like attacking, obviously. So,
mhm,
and given the momentum that we had coming in this game, and they did not, with the injuries, with Vinicius also out of form. He wasn't in form before the game, and we just threw him right back with a couple of goals to his name. So,
yeah.
I think the midfield has been a really big issue for us. I mean, throughout for the past 1.5 years. So, do you think is it really like is it just a one-off game, one-off bad game, or do you think that we really need to change our formation, especially in the midfield?
Uh, See, I think as I've said before as well, a lot of times, that our midfield under Klopp is a very functional midfield. It is not a traditional midfield of sorts. So the right and left midfielders are more so like for, like when we are attacking, they're just to just to spread the play and then give cover to the attacking fullbacks, which are our primary playmakers. So, keeping that in mind, like, it's not their job to actually, create chances, but that is where I think we are kind of being found out, because playing always from the flank is, not feasible. I mean, I remember once, like, I was in conversation with a, European coach who was in India working here, and he said that he does not understand the English model of crossing and playing, because as per the stats, crossing has a, less than 10% success rate.
Yeah.
So I was just remembering that yesterday, and that, how we are so dependent upon our playmakers, who are, kind of playing as fullbacks, and they're trying to uh, create from there, which is very tough to do, because you just have a very limited angle from there. Like, it's like, you just have like a 90-degree angle from either of the flanks, and you have to utilize that, which lessens your options essentially. So
Especially
yeah,
talking
I
about
think I
using the
think I
flanks,
think
we have been
I
doing
think
it for the past 2.5 years now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're just getting found out again and again using the same tactics. And I mean, if we are planning to play even like a 4-2-3-1, or as sometimes, in game formation has always, sometimes even been 4-2-2-2. I mean, if we are planning to play something like that, then of course, like, our fullbacks can't be so high, for sure. and I I think it's time to adapt to different formations. Also, because I feel Trent and Robertson especially, like both of them are like looking exhausted on the pitch. I mean, these players have been playing for the past 4 years continuously. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like the amount of games Wijnaldum, Salah, Mane, Robertson, and Trent have played. Like I'm sure it's gonna be above 120 or something. So I
it's
mean,
been
it's a huge number. It's a huge number in the past 3 seasons. Players playing such a high volume of game, and keeping in mind, like how high the number of sprints. Klopp asks them, to complete in a match, which actually puts more stress on them.
yeah, yeah. That is one thing. For sure, but then again, I think that the topic is of another debate, and Klopp has already, multiple time in multiple press conferences over the past 2 to 3 years has indicated it. Unfortunately, it doesn't go through the right ears because we have, I think, the most our team has suffered this particular season with injuries is Liverpool Football Club, and
Yeah,
compared to any other, be it Madrid or be it anyone else, there's no other team that's even near than what we have. And somehow we are still in the UCL. Somehow we are still trying to get to top four, which is commendable. Obviously, we had a few bad results. We had good performances, but poor results. We had poor performances
yeah,
and poor results. So I think that's part and parcel of the game.
yeah.
Obviously, fans had a lot of expectations coming into the new season as champions of
Yes.
England. Unfortunately, that didn't work out this season. But again, I'm not going to talk about transfers. I'm not going to talk about have we had signed someone else in the midfield for to change our formation, because we did sign Simicas and he is like nowhere to be seen. No, I've not even seen him on the bench, to be honest. His name is there on the bench. I mean,
Yeah.
even the cameraman doesn't bother to show him on the bench. To be really
Yeah.
honest, that's
Yeah.
how he's placed in the squad at the moment. So, uh, you know, the whole point of getting that right combination, getting the right formation, especially for Liverpool Football Club now, given that we have been found out on number of occasions by number of clubs, and they are now pressing Andy Robertson, they are not pressing Alexander Arnold, they are not giving them any kind of space to cross the ball, and then we are still missing that one talisman. However, Diogo Jota has come in and tried to fill the place as much as possible, but we are still missing that one creative midfielder, which we have been talking about for the past 1 year as well. Ever since Coutinho has left, there is that vacant spot which Gini Wijnaldum or Jordan Henderson have not been able to fill. Um, Oxlade Chamberlain came close, but he was hit by two major injuries, and he has never looked the same anymore. So, do you really think that we need to, get these players off, like Alex Chamberlain? Wijnaldum is anyways going off now, so there's no doubt to that. Chamberlain, Naby Keita, to make room for maybe some other players as well, so that we can finally have that extra dimension, because it's just becoming monotonous the way we are playing.
I think there will be a lot of changes once the summer comes, of course. From what it looks like right now, Wijnaldum is definitely off. But again, like if you look at with respect to creative numbers, I would love to see Thiago play more up, more in an attacking position so that he can create. But again, the point remains the same that if Klopp is gonna always tell his center midfielders to not create from the center and rather use the wings to create, then even if Zidane himself was playing at his peak, even he wouldn't have been able to do anything because it's like the players will follow the instructions of the coach, and that is what I've always said to people about Wijnaldum as well, when they keep on asking why he's such a different player when he plays for his national team as compared to Liverpool. So it's just the instructions of the coach which he's following, and I mean It's just that we just don't make we just don't create so much from our central midfielders because that's just not what Klopp wants them to do.
So what's the alternative then? I mean, if he doesn't want
I
to
mean,
change,
if you ask me, I think if we play in a 4-3-3 only, if we want to play like that only and stick with that formation, then we definitely have to change Thiago's role in it. I mean, I would like to see him as a more of like as a half eight, half ten role, which at times Coutinho was also playing in his last season with us. But that being said, then we'll have to kind of understand that Firmino also occupies that similar area. When he's playing as a false nine. So either another way out is probably try out the diamond and see if we can
Hammond will
probably.
leave a lot of loopholes in our midfield.
It would, but then see the only point is then we'll have to, as it is, that Trent and Robertson are not playing that higher up. Their starting position has definitely been way backwards as compared to the last couple of seasons because they're kind of making it up with the centre back problems which we had this season. So they're trying to give more numbers in the defense. So right now, I think our approach is like not like it's not like last couple of seasons like wherein like our fullbacks are like wingers and exploiting the flanks, nor is it like that our center midfielders are creating. So we are somewhere in the middle, nor on the left, nor on the right, nor in the front, or nor in the back. It's just we are in the middle of chaos right now. I'm being really, really honest because
Yeah, yeah, that's
it's
true. That's
just
true.
that you see the game and you are like this is something which is wrong, and you can't even blame the players because there's so many matches happening, so much international games, so much travel happening. You just can't even blame them. But it's just that I think Klopp really needs to shake the tactic a bit, at least, if not by a lot. And that is purely because, like, teams know that we don't have like a good centre back right now. Although I was really impressed with Kabak yesterday. He was, I think, our best player on the pitch.
He was solid, yes.
Yeah. So and yeah, I think it's just that we'll have to change our tactics a bit for sure. I think Klopp has to understand that we just can't move ahead because we are being found out by almost every second team now.
That's true, and especially teams with who have a lot of pace.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that as well now because we found that while we were pressing, now coming back to the Madrid game, so while we were pressing yesterday, um, yeah, it was actually almost embarrassing the way they were playing against us. The way they were finding passes when you have two Liverpool players coming at you at full pace, you have still managed to find the pass and really
Yeah.
shows the kind of work behind the scenes, the homework that they have done on our players, and the way that we pressurize and the way we close in, they were able to find the pass. There were a few misplaced passes, yes, but when it came to situations when they were cornered, right, they always used
Yeah.
to find a pass and move the ball
Yeah.
through. I think it just took like not more than two or three passes, and the ball was in our box. That's
Yeah.
how easy it was for them. I'm not sure if we were going for the offside offside plan, or were we just thinking that Nat Phillips or Kabak will go back and compete with Vinicius? I think that was a really big mistake. That if we thought about that, to be really honest. But giving Tony Cruz, Luka Modric that amount of space, giving Vinicius Junior a ample of time to run as well, to make that run in the box, and of course, Allison made a couple of mistakes as well. So, obviously it shows, right, that the players are tired, they cannot run. Kabak and Nat Phillips, they obviously do not have that pace, obviously, compared to the other defenders like Joe Gomez or Virgil van Dijk. However, there's still no excuse, be it the injuries, be it the momentum, be it whatever, there's still no excuse to not be able to pass the ball yourself. Now we
Correct.
obviously know that the quality of Tony Kroos and Luka Modric is amazing. That's why they're still there in the team at that sort of age as well.
Yeah.
But we were not able to pass the ball properly. There were so many
Mm.
balls that they went out of the stadium. There were so many balls that were not able to keep. We saw Fabinho dribbling. We saw Mane like diving, attempting to get a foul outside the box 4 to 5 times in the last 10 minutes, which were very very crucial. He could have stayed on his feet. He has done that so many times before.
Yeah.
He has not died for penalty, but there was a lot of lack of character, as you can say, maybe from our team players, that they were not able to pass the ball, they were not able to keep the ball. Now, as discussed earlier, you did mention about the pitch. They
Yeah.
can have factor because we play wide, we like bigger pitches. This was not a like a professional pitch, as you can say, or whatever. So, do you feel it was literally you can put some kind of blame, even 10% on the pitch, or was it completely the players and they were their mindsets?
I won't blame the pitch at all because come on, you're in the Champions League quarterfinals, and the teams will make it as hard as possible for you in your away matches. I mean, I remember there were matches in which teams did not water the pitch at all, like against
Yeah,
Barcelona. I remember like there were matches in which teams would not water the pitch because they knew that Barcelona are gonna play short passes, and then those short passes required pace, and they just kept the pitch dry so that they can slow the game down. So
yeah,
once you are at such a high stage in professional sport, may it be any sport, you have to adapt. And I mean, it was a very meek performance from Liverpool. I haven't seen such a bad performance, collectively speaking, in a long, long time. I mean, and this is including like even the Aston Villa drubbing we had. Like even in that, there were shades of us passing the ball correctly, making, building up the right things and everything. But then yesterday it was shambles all over. Like, I mean, it was, I think, one of the worst games I have seen Fabinho play. Like he was nowhere. He was doing nothing, and uh, yeah, I mean, it was a really really bad thing, right from the tactically how we were set up, and how we actually even executed our tactical plan, because our execution made the tactics look even worse.
I just can laugh at it right now because that's like the harsh truth that
Y-
we and our
y-
players have to. Although to be very honest with you, Ishan, I'm very happy the way we turned out in the second half. I mean,
Yeah,
the way the players were coming in. What scared me the most? The thing that scared me the most was when we were in Kiev, the final of Champions League. I saw the players coming out of the dressing room. They were like barely walking. They're literally taking baby steps out to coming climbing the stairs. And I was so worried. I was like, you know what? I mean, they have just lost it. There is no passion there. They have
yeah,
the confidence level is gone. But yesterday when they came on, I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I see something different here. I see something different here. Klopp has literally, thrashed them in the dressing room. Obviously, there's something coming in. I posted in that in our group as well that yeah, I can see some kind of positivity here. It happened. Trent made a couple of sublime passes, and I
yeah,
think three almost headers to Jota. Unfortunately, he couldn't connect with them properly. There were very difficult chances as well. But again, we screwed up once more. We gave away another goal, and
yeah,
we also got saved by Trent Alexander-Arnold's right leg to left or right leg. I don't quite remember. And otherwise we would have been 4-1 down.
yeah,
So, there was a slight bit of positivity that we can handle this team. Because at the end of the day, Real Madrid did get exhausted.
yeah,
That's a right sign that they can play as much as they want. So that brings me to one more question. Given a certain form, right, a certain stage, I'm just giving you a combination of Premier League and Champions League right now.
yeah,
We do not have a fast-paced centre backs like Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez at the moment. Even Joel Matip, he has pretty good pace.
yeah.
So why are we not playing counter attack? why are we not counter attacking the team? Why aren't we not soaking up the pressure instead of pressing hard and being vulnerable by our defense? Why are we? We can play the 4-3-3. We can play 4-3-3 in a counter attack position.
Yeah,
We can drop Bobby Firmino down and we can play Salah and Mane up front, which
yeah,
is usually how we are working these days, right? Bobby's not
yeah.
up front anymore.
Yeah.
So why aren't we playing counter attack, especially against teams like Real Madrid?
I think, as I said, like the tactical plan which we had, if the players would have executed it, I think it would have made things a bit tougher for Madrid, especially when they were building it up from the goal kick. I think Mane and Salah especially had their pressing angles completely wrong because they were allowing the pass to the fullbacks very easily. It wasn't like
Exactly.
they were like just standing over there.
Exactly.
So if that would have been done better, I think we would have had at least put some kind of pressure onto them. And after that, once the ball was in midfield, there was absolutely no pressure on either Modric or on Cruz. Like, we are talking about two world class center midfielders, one of whom has is the only player who has kind of broken uh, the duopoly of Ronaldo and Messi as the Ballon d'Or winners. So I mean, you should know that they need to be pressed. I mean, I don't know whether this is a personal issue or was that a tactical plan, but it was poor. Like, you just cannot allow them so much space and so much time. Like, you look at Cruz passing on both the goals, with the Asensio one and the Vinicius one. It's You just can't give them so much time. I think if you take up if anybody knows that you're playing against Cruz and Modric, they would know that they would give up so much. They won't give them so much time and space. I think probably like Klopp thought that with Nat Phillips' aerial presence and Kabak's aerial presence as well, any long balls they could have saved. But then that's hoping for way too much, in my opinion. Like,
We didn't even
you just
utilize
can't
the
expect.
corners.
Sorry.
We didn't even utilize the corners, to be honest. If you're talking about
We
header
did not.
ability,
We did not. We didn't use anything. And as you said, like, why we are not playing the counter attacking way like we were kind of uh 3.5 years back. I think it also kind of depends upon a few things that I think Klopp is kind of trying to win the matches with his trusted formula right now, which I don't think is working, and he needs to realize and not be a bit stubborn. I mean, I know for a fact that he knows way better than any of us, but then, like, as a spectator, as a fan, looking at how we are being found with the same tactics again and again, it looks very, very stubbornish that he's just not changing things.
I'm sure.
And I mean, I'm actually very, very open to us, playing as a counter-attacking team with, say, like a 4-4-2 defensive shape, which we have utilized a lot this season. Like, we have played a lot in a 4-4-2 defensive shape, and I don't mind us, playing counter-attack like that. I think it can be achieved. It's just that we just need to start putting it into effect against bigger teams who can like pick us apart, like the players like Cruz and Modric.
Yeah, playing counter attack. I don't think is it should be an issue for us, especially because see when we go forward. Let's. I'm not talking about. Let me just give this Madrid game for a moment. When you go forward against Burnley, against Brighton, against uh, say Fulham, right? We tend to we seem to have lost our pace. The amount of quickness that we get the ball through to the opposition box, that seems to be missing, and we are just kind of playing the passing game every now and then, passing the back, building from the back, and by that time obviously there are like 9 to 10 players. Almost all the players are
Yeah,
back in the box along with the goalkeeper, and it makes it so difficult for us to find the gap, right? So
yeah,
that's one of the reasons I said counter attacking, and especially now coming to Real Madrid. Now these were just talking about the basic teams. Coming to Real Madrid, You know they are pacey. You know the way they play. They just have one way of playing, to be very honest, and that's how they play it out every single game in La Liga as well. So Real Madrid is not a counter-attacking team. They like to dominate. They like to play the balls through. So now the problem there is that I think we have been shining for the past 3 years, and we have been rated as the deadliest front three or the best attack in the Europe and all that stuff. So we have it's been a really long time that we have been underdogs because we reached the first CL final as underdogs,
Yeah,
right? So I think that's so for me, that is the kind of mindset that we need to adapt again, being the underdog. We were the underdogs against Barcelona 3-0 down, and that's how we kept up because we had nothing to lose there.
yeah,
We have everything to lose here, unfortunately, because we compromise the top four spot. The only title that we can win right now is this one because we didn't even win the Community Shield and lost to Arsenal. So even I mean, if you call that a title, Community Shield title, so just be it.
yeah.
But then again, this is an opportunity for Liverpool and the players and the manager as well to come back to again those 16, 17, 17, 18 season when you are playing the underdog and you are beating teams, right, left, back, and center. So that's for me that is the way forward. Even if you are doing the same tactics perfectly fine, let the opposition have the ball, let them see that they are dictating. And obviously, we have the pace. Salah, Mane, we have players like Thiago who can find the pass wherever he wants. Thiago is a player who can not only imagine the pass but also can create it.
Correct.
Those are two different things. So
Yeah,
there are players who have the vision and there are players who make that vision realistic. Thiago is the
yeah,
kind of player who can make that vision and who can make that pass as well at the same time. So
yeah.
so obviously I would like to understand why are we not utilizing this position of ours right now. Every single team knows that we are struggling, and it's important sometimes in life to just put a step back,
Correct.
come back to the 4-3-3, come back to the 4-4-2, go for a counter-attacking team against Real Madrid, let them have the position they want. Is perfectly fine.
I think first and foremost, I think it's the underdog mentality suits Klopp really well. And
Exactly.
wherever he has gone, whether it's Dortmund and coming to Liverpool or even Mainz, he has always been the underdog, and he kind of favors and relishes that kind of scenario. Like as you said, against Barcelona or whether it was even against Madrid, he always like I even remember when it was against Tottenham, he told very explicitly to everybody that Liverpool are not the favorites and Tottenham are as good a team you can find in Europe, and that's why they're in the finals. So he always wants his team to be confident, but not too overconfident. I think that is what he always aims for with the underdog mentality, which also kind of calms the nerves of the players by not putting so much pressure, because which comes with like, okay, we are the you know more bigger team, or we have been touted as we'll win it easily or whatever, so that just gives on added pressure. And I as I said, like we should definitely play counter attacking. We just switch to that kind of system now, especially against the bigger teams, because frankly we don't have depth either, whether it's up top, behind, or like in the midfield. We just don't have depth.
Even
So
if we have, we don't use it.
yeah, because the numbers are there, the quality isn't. So it's just that, like, I mean, it's just that if you would have asked me, our midfield was so passive even after the substitution of Thiago. It got better. Of course, it got better, but it wasn't like what you would expect from a Liverpool midfield who will be not giving the opposition midfield any time on the ball. So it was a weird match, to be really honest, from top to bottom. But yes, like this is the best stage for Liverpool to make a comeback, because it's Anfield again. I know we haven't won of late at Anfield, and it's like become our kind of a bogey ground or so
Yeah,
in a manner. But I
yeah.
feel this is the best time to put that to bed and move forward, and If not,
it's going to
even
be
if not, we
difficult
don't.
for us.
Sorry.
It's going to be difficult for us because there are no fans as well, because there's no outside motivation, as you can say.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course, like the fans are not there, but then I mean, that is our sacred place. We know it in and out. I mean, it is built, just to our needs to do whatever we want to over there. But again, like if the players know that they haven't won at Anfield for a long time, and that might play on their mind, which is my only and only concern with Anfield. That's why I was kind of really happy when against Leipzig we had a neutral venue. It kind of took off the Anfield hoodoo which the players had in their head.
Yeah, it's a really sad record to keep, to be honest. I mean, 6 games in a row, that was like crazy. I could never have imagined that, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean
Especially
that too under this team, under Klopp, and with a team like this, you would never expect that to happen. Never ever. But
the
should
moment we
happen.
signed Thiago, I was like, you know what, this is our invincible season, and there's no stopping us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one or two wrong games, and things were. Anyways, that's again a different topic altogether, because I certainly hope the Anfield voodoo comes to an end, and we
Yeah.
are back to our winning ways, because as bad as the Premier League season has been for us, apart from the Atlanta and this particular game, we have been great in the Champions League. We haven't conceded so many goals at all. I think the Atlanta game we were poor. Even the last
Yeah.
game we were poor. We were poor for like maybe say around 70 odd minutes, but there was still around 20-25 minutes where we dominated, especially starting off the second half. We did, so
Yeah.
there was few positive that we can take back. Ramos may not be there for the next game as well. Varane may also not be there because it takes around 14 days of quarantine.
14
So
days.
I
Yeah.
don't know if he's going to be there too. So most likely it's going to be the same formation, unless of course Zidane wants to switch up a bit, maybe take Modric or Cruz off, or go a bit more defensive with their
So I
lineup,
think
because Marcelo was not
I
playing
think
this game.
the worst thing yesterday, which happened was that Liverpool knew that this like a very fresh centre back pairing for Madrid as well with Eder Militao and Nacho, and they were not tested at all. Like I mean, there was no threat to them. Like this would rather do their confidence a whole lot of good, and kind of help them in settling inside the team for both of them, and it gives them like the perfect platform because you have played against such a good team like Liverpool. Like mentally, they'll be top of the world, and they'll be thinking, okay, fine, like we are confident enough, we can play in this team, and with Ramos and Varane out, this is the best all the Madrid fans could have hoped for.
Yeah, that's the thing, and we managed to screw that up as well. So,
Yeah. And
anyways, I think
another thing which I noticed yesterday was that all our corners were in Courtois' hands.
yeah, I was
Like,
wondering. I mean, we have Nat Phillips, we had Kabak, we had Gini Wijnaldum on the pitch, we have Fabinho on the pitch. Even Diogo Jota and Sadio Mane are good header of the ball.
yeah,
We had 6 players out of 10. Out of 10, not counting
yeah,
Allison, obviously. Out of 10, we had 6 players who are good headers of the ball, and not one of them even managed.
nothing.
And
So that's what I'm saying.
even
Like,
Madrid
our,
front
our, our
were
set piece,
good as well.
our set piece delivery was really bad because over the past couple of seasons, especially, we have seen that when we are not able to create even from like the normal crossing or like even via the interplay between Firmino Salah or Firmino Mane, we have scored a lot of goals via set pieces. But again, even the set piece delivery was really poor yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I just there's something that just struck me right now. There was still one more positive, that Klopp realized his mistake and substituted Naby Keita for Thiago right in the first half after 39
Yeah,
odd minutes. So I think that was a good sign that he instantly realized that okay, this is not working out at all.
Yeah,
Although I'll still question him why he played Genie Wijnaldum in. It's not about a crucial game. It's just that there are players who are better suited to this fixture because again, like I said, Madrid playing against Madrid or Barcelona is not about slowing the pace down. It's about attacking. It's about attacking and pressing, and that's how it is. Unfortunately, he wasn't, and Naby Keita wasn't able to do that. So obviously, there's no comparison with Modric and Cruz there. There is
yeah.
absolutely no comparison.
No, I
Um,
think like the Keita substitution, it kind of shows that um, Klopp was ballsy enough to actually realize that okay, fine, this is not working out. Before they score more goals due to this, let's just take him out. That which is fine. But then if you look the flip side of it, Keita again, who has not played a lot of games in succession, and now he'll be totally screwed up in the head, thinking that one of the biggest games of this season, while on his comeback, he kind of screwed up. So that that that's something which can really play on a player's mind as well. uh, but again, like I feel this was absolutely the wrong match to pick Keita, especially because there is absolutely no rhythm. You're playing against Modric and Cruz. You just can't expect Keita to do it. I mean, uh, not like he does not have the ability, but it's just that he's trying to rebuild his fitness, which has been very bad for the past 2.5 years. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, that was one decision which was really wrong from Klopp from the very beginning with respect to Keita.
True. Ishan, we have a comment here from Dipali. She's asking you to push a bit back so that she can see you properly. You're too much into the
Okay,
camera right now. Yeah.
okay. I'm actually using my phone to stream, so yeah, that's why.
Okay. So I hope that's better, Dipali. She just pinged me on Instagram. Prem, you can put a ping on the comment section here. Unfortunately, I think everyone is sleeping today, so not most of them make it.
Yeah,
So okay, so we are there. Let's try and wrap this conversation up. Obviously, would love
yeah,
to continue as well. Now we have discussed Naby Keita. Now the main, I won't say culprit, or I won't say like the main reason why we could not score, or we had a lot of chances but we screwed up, was Sadio Mane. His performance in the recent games, apart from that, his attitude, his lack of decision making at the right moment, and the fact that I think that includes in the lack of decision making, because my next point is doing lack of decision making. The reason I say it because whenever he feels the touch, he doesn't go down. Whenever he does not, he goes down, assuming he'll get a free kick or something at a like a difficult position every single time, close to the box, inside the box, wherever he wants. He he chose to go to the ground, I think around 5 to 7 times in the last 10 minutes. And on minutes, he chose to dribble. Fabinho chose to dribble as well. But given the opportunities that Sadio Mane had, he had one opportunity to pass it to Salah as well. Uh, I think that was the 10 15 minutes before
yeah.
the full time whistle. What's wrong there? Like what's wrong with Sadio Mane, and what's been
Uh,
missing there? Is it the competition with Salah? Is it that is it
I
the
don't think. I think that is a very lousy journalism and a very lazy narrative that there is kind of like a
rift?
rift or a like a 1v1 sort of like competition between the two of them as to who will score more or assist more or whatever. I don't think Klopp's teams are like that. They're very you know very cohesive like that, kind of like a family of sorts, and which you can just see. any interview of any Dortmund player, and everybody speaks so well about the atmosphere in the dressing room which Klopp creates. So I think that is definitely not the point. But again, like it's like when you're regularly scoring goals, assisting goals, and all of a sudden that stops. I mean, it could be due to various things. Of course, it's not only Mane's shortcomings. It's also because initially we were not giving him the ball at the right time, at the right place, etc., which
Hmm.
has kind of led to him over complicating the basic things. So the time where he would dribble, he's now just holding on to the ball and just waiting for a pass. And the time when he would just pass the ball, he's dribbling the ball. So it's just that he's overcomplicating the basic things. And since they are not coming off, he's doing all the theatricals which he is doing, which kind of becomes funny at times. And I think uh, that is what played on the referee's mind when even he was fouled by Vasquez. And I genuinely think that was a red card offense. I mean, because
Yeah, there
he
has
went.
been a debate about it. There has not been a debate about it. Actually, we haven't even discussed
Yeah,
it
yeah.
yet.
I mean, that's what, because the performance was so poor that nobody actually questioned it, and it's like Mane jumping for the ball and Vasquez pushing him from the behind with no intent to win the ball. I mean, he's the last man, and like ticks all the boxes for a red card offense, and sadly it was outside the box, so VAR couldn't review it. So it is what it is, and I think if that decision would have been given in our favor, even if it was not a red card, even if it was a yellow card, it would have been in a free kick in a good position. I mean, it would have some way or the other help us. You know,
Yeah.
give us more confidence to get a free kick in a good position and stuff like that. And of course, I think because he was the last man, it should have been a red card. But again, it was just that how Mane was going down so easily. It just plays on the referee's mind all the time, and they think again he's just diving or whatever.
Given the technology, the ref has the ability to, even show the red card and go review it because VAR won't interfere for a yellow card. VAR will interfere for
Yeah,
a red card, inside
yeah,
or outside the box, whatever.
yeah.
So I think, that's the kind of maturity that the referees need to showcase themselves rather than waiting
Absolutely, like
until.
that is there. But then it's the like the foul was what you call a very soft foul. But then again, since he was the last man, it becomes a very pivotal moment for the whole phase of play. But I don't know why it wasn't given.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Ishan. It's either a foul or it's not a foul. There's nothing like a soft foul or a soft penalty like Sam Allardyce once when he was back at Everton.
Uh,
He said once, "There's nothing like a soft penalty, right?" So there's nothing like a soft foul as well because he's the last man and he has to be red carded. And you're refereeing a Champions League game. That's
yeah,
what Liverpool versus Real Madrid. You're not refereeing Besiktas versus Porto or some other random game, right? So, I mean, come on. You're referring, you're
no,
not
no,
an
no,
English
no,
referee.
no, no doubts about that. But then, I mean, why I said that it was a soft foul, because it is not a run of the mill, challenge from the foot. So, I mean, that's why I use the word soft foul. But again, like, I don't think the referee was at the right angle to even judge whether there was a push or not, due to which, he could have just thought that, Mane has jumped for the ball and just took a fall to win a free kick. But I mean, he should have, like, been at a better angle. But again, it's again, like, in
I think we
retrospection, we are
can
clutching on
go
to
on
straws.
and on about referee decisions. The whole, so I think we can literally have a separate channel about referee decisions not going our way, to
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah,
So yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I don't know when this will stop with the referee. We complaining about referee decisions because that's just piss poor, to be really honest with you. And even as recent as that, you have other referees. See, to be very honest, I think the referee had a overall he had a good game. I think
yeah.
he kind of we also got lucky in a couple of occasions. To be very honest with you, we weren't that much lucky with the yellow card that Trent Alexander-Arnold got. To be really honest,
Hmm. Hmm.
because that again was Vinicius was just playing a bit too much. He
Yeah,
got his revenge against Arnold anyway. So, but then again, I think he had a good game. But these are like these are key decisions that have to go because I mean, imagine the score if the score is 3-2. We have two away goals.
yeah,
Madrid actually they'll be on pressure if they come to Anfield. They won't be attacking us for sure.
yeah.
They won't
So,
bother attacking us
so,
at that point
so
of
you
time.
see, like if that red card would have been given, the score was 1-0 at that point of time. The whole
Yeah,
complexion of the game changes.
exactly. Exactly.
So, so these are the fine margins. I mean, I understand, like in retrospection, it's easy to blame the referee for some decision, but I mean that does not take away the fact that we were very bad for like almost 75 minutes or so. But yeah, I think if that would have been given, like at least it would have helped us in salvaging something from this match.
Yeah, true. We did come close for a couple of times, but unfortunately, it didn't just go through. And just to sum up my last point, basically, obviously, if you have any more from your end, you're most welcome. My last point being, um, no, I'm going to have a separate discussion over this. I'm going to make a different video completely over this. When I used to see Joel Matip back in 2017, what he wasn't that confident guy. He didn't dribble right in the middle of the pitch and pass the ball, or he didn't come out and head the ball with that confidence which he does these days. So what he used to do was that he used to just pass the ball off to Jordan Henderson or Gini Wijnaldum, and then Wijnaldum passes the ball off to him, and then he used to pass the ball to either Robertson or Gomez or whosoever his center back or left back partner was.
Right.
That was how Joel Matip played. He literally slowed the pace down of the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this time around, we are doing the same thing, which that particular guy did. Like now you look at Joel Matip, like 3 years later, he's a beast at all.
Yeah.
Like the confidence level has grown to a next level ever since Van Dijk has come in.
Right.
But what about? But the problem is that that disease of slowing the pace down, unfortunately, has gotten in a number of players, including Jordan Henderson, including Gini Wijnaldum, including our center backs. Like, okay, fine, they are not the regular center backs, but then again, they are still very much off pace in terms of pushing the ball forward, which is very crucial to our gameplay because we play from wider angles. If we are more central, then I don't think that there is any problem there. We are not
Uh,
central. We do not play from the center. We play from the wings.
so we have to understand again one thing, that this is totally an instruction from the coach. So if the whole team is doing it on a repeated manner, that means it's not them, it's the coaching staff which is telling them to play in a certain manner. And I understand why they are telling them to do so, because, like, let's face the facts, like, our attackers, or for that matter, any attacker, would like to have more space in front of them to exploit,
Yeah,
right? So what happens is that when you play slow, you are kind of inviting the opposition team to kind of press onto you and attack, which leaves spaces behind, which then you want your attackers to actually exploit. And that is one of the reasons, knowing that the other team are gonna kind of play very narrow and kind of play very compact. That's why Liverpool kind of adopted this approach a couple of years back, to slowly build up so that they can then exploit the spaces, which was not happening even yesterday, because you could see, like, when we were building up, the pressing from Madrid was so good. It was as if it was as good as prime Liverpool used to press, covering all the angles with the right kind of intensity and dropping off at the right time. So I mean, it was a midfield masterclass from Casemiro, Cruz, and Modric yesterday. I mean, if anybody wants to see how a midfield three should play ever in their life, they should just watch yesterday's game. So I think that is one thing where again we have to work on, like, if plan A of trying to create attacks is not working, then what is our plan B? You can't just go in the game with just one plan. And I mean, you could like say that okay, fine. One way is to like pass it to the fullbacks. Another way is to pass to Thiago and Fabinho, and let them go past one player and then pass it ahead. But that's just very very predictable. You have to have a very different setup against teams which find out all of this and then exploit you by this. And that's why, like, in the summer, I really wanted Liverpool to go for a typical number nine. I mean, because that just gives you the kind of variety which helps you mix it up a lot. And with now Jota coming in, who's not a typical number nine, but has an amazing intensity, it kind of, filled the gap. But again, you can see again, the loopholes are still there. The same loopholes are still there. And
Yeah,
now say I don't think so we'll buy another forward next summer, because Elliot is gonna be coming back,
yeah,
and I highly doubt that we'll go for anybody.
yeah.
As sad as
Minamino
that
will
may
also be
sound.
back. Minamino will also be back by then.
Oh yeah, Minamino will also be back. I don't know how we're gonna incorporate him though. I think he's somebody which we can incorporate in a counter-attacking style really, really well. But again,
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and watch what we are doing, because he'll be back in the summer, and by then Van Dijk, Gomez, and Matip will be back. So I think we'll go back to our low intensity kind of build up play, and kind of Minamino won't fit into that.
yeah, unfortunately. But then again, I think it's all about. Obviously, it's all up to the manager because we can make as many comments as we want. We can make as many points as we want. But then again, the whole point, the thing that scares me the most is basically being found out again and again using the same tactics all over, and especially when you have teams in English football like Burnley, Crystal, no, not Crystal Palace. I think they are still an attacking team. Um, Burnley, Sheffield United, even Manchester United for that matter, they have always
Yeah,
been part of us against us.
yeah.
So, you know, this is it becomes really, really difficult for us to crack these teams because in order to crack those 9 players in front of the goalkeeper, you need to push every single player that you have up front. That leaves a lot of space in the defense to, for counter attack, obviously. So the problem there is that if we are not utilizing the pace, what's the point of signing players like Jota, Minamino, and Salah and Mane? I mean, they're like legends of
No,
being.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we definitely have to change the tactics a bit. Like, we have to have a different plan altogether. With a different plan, I don't mean like, say for example, if a crossing isn't working, it's not that we try the because even yesterday, if you would have noticed, like, there were a lot of times where when Salah was wide, Trent would occupy the right central attacking midfielder zone, and he would try to play the ball from there. And this is kind of like similar to usually where De Bruyne operates from, and he tried to do that a lot. But again, like, that is still kind of hoping to work, because it's a cross coming in. So we definitely have to change things a bit and change our system a bit. I mean, that is for sure. Like, if we want, say, even if we go out in the quarterfinals, if we want a top four finish, we have to change things up a bit.
Let's hope we do that. Let's hope we don't get any kind of similar performance as that in the first half of Real Madrid, especially. So I think we have committed too much. It's already 60 minutes again. Even though I tried my best, but we just there's so many questions. There's so many discussions
Yeah.
that happen today. So Anyways, it's good. Thank you so much, Dipali and others, for joining us. Thank you for leaving your
Thank you.
comments. Thank you so much for pinging me on Instagram as well. Guys, this is YouTube. You should be pinging on YouTube, not on Instagram. Thank you so much, Ishan. I'll see you
Yeah,
before, hopefully, the next game, if
yeah,
possible. Otherwise, definitely come in for a game review, if not preview. Right? All
definitely.
right. Appreciate your
Thank,
company.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today.
All the best for the next one, man. Who do you
Thank you,
leaving?
same to you, bro. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye, bye, everyone. Good night.